Caption ghost Emily.
There
At
it
least we can
goes.
hear you now, yes.
Weird. Yeah, that was the thing. That was the same thing that happened on our end. I could still hear you, but your avatar disappeared.
Hmm.
And I think your captions were still working. Yeah, I don't know. There's, I don't know. I don't know what could have happened. Um, I was still here. For some reason, Meowster's avatar disappeared, but captions stayed and everything. And so I don't know what I don't know what that could have been.
So maybe for emotional, we could also add participating in hobbies.
Mm.
So that could include like the gaming that Happy's been doing, gaming, collectibles. What else? What are other hobbies? Sports, either as
Ooh.
a viewer or as a participant. I know that you are big. You're like Sporty Spice. You're the sporty gal.
Oh my God. So, for some context, y'all, I just got back from Seattle. I spent 2 months there staying with a friend and just exploring Seattle. Well, living in downtown Seattle, no car, it was public transportation or walking. And for the first month I was there, I didn't pay for the Puget Pass, which is unlimited. So, every time I got on public transit, it was $3. So I just kept like hearing the dollar signs. So I would walk as much as I possibly could. And I mean, I probably averaged at least 3 miles a day, if not closer to five, because I would have like some peak days where I'd do closer to 15. And yeah, since I've been back and working on Trans Day of Remembrance and focusing on that, I've been at this computer working a lot and not getting up and doing a whole ton. So I feel like I'm gaining weight just by the moment. And yeah, I really miss it because you're right. Especially walking for me. I find that a good long walk, a few miles, like just absolutely clears my head and gives me so many other things, so many other stimuli to focus on, and really sort of grounds me because I'm out, sort of touching grass, even if there isn't any grass around in the city. But you're seeing people and things that you wouldn't otherwise. And so you're noticing things and you're just basically focused and aware more on in the moment. And I just think that's a really wonderful grounding exercise, you know, plus the actual literal exercise you're getting. And I don't know, it's just got so many benefits for me. And I feel like, getting up and walking can be a really easy thing for a lot of people that are able-bodied but not maybe able to do some of the heavier sports that I like to do. So that's always one I really recommend. I'm
Yeah.
another tangent. I'm a little frustrated because since my stream tripped, it reset Twitch, and so now Twitch is running ads right now.
It's running ads now. I thought I sneezed it.
I did, but then it just came back up and it
Did it
ran them anyway.
anyways.
So
All right. Well, maybe we'll just both take a BRB so we can be synced up with our ads. We'll be right back, everybody.
okay, I did get a break screen together. And we're back.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back.
I love that right before we went on the break, Dresden Media had put in Legos. Legos are a fun one. Um, Building something, again, physical, being busy with your hands, being focused on something. It's a really helpful grounding exercise to bring you into the moment and sort of calm down all of the noise, all the chatter that can really get in our brains and distract us. Your ad is about to start. What is going on? I give up on Twitch. It's just whatever. Um, but yeah, that's another really great exercise for that emotional and mental centering. I used to
My fur
do.
kitty just leapt into my lap, and I'm holding her, and she's purring. Very sweet. Um, we have a pretty good list for physical and emotional. Mental is shorter. We've got making lists, setting achievable goals, and working at a job and/or following routines.
Mhm. I gotta assume that
Um,
you and I both find a lot of personal buoying and bolstering by doing our work for the Transverse and GenderMeowster Gender Federation, respectively. That always.
yeah, I do find a lot of meaningfulness. Maybe I'll just make working its own thing because it doesn't have to be at a job. Just doing whatever the work is that a person does. It could be volunteering.
When I sit back and I reflect on the amount of work I've put into the Transverse and all the things that I do with locally, the events, all this stuff, it's like I am so busy, and I don't have any income, but like I work more now, I feel, than I have it in many periods during my life.
I hear that.
And it's such a funny
Well, and
reflection
this is my
too.
first. This is my first stream back from my surgery adventure that I had.
Hmm. Did you want to share anything about that?
We could. One really big way to take care of ourselves is not only taking HRT, but also having our gender affirming surgeries. Haha. And I had my gender affirming bottom surgery that we raised money for this summer. So for the last like 2 months, I've been offline basically because I've been having a medical procedure and dealing with all of that, like what it means to have surgery while disabled and brr, brr, brr. Like I really do think that this procedure happened exactly when it should have. And this was all before we knew the election results, right? Like,
Yeah.
but in terms of my personal like trajectory with disability and all those pieces, like I think it's yeah, it's just a really we picked the right time because I was starting to have allergic responses to pain meds that used to work for me. And so I'm just thinking about if I have to have future surgeries, like I'm really not clear on what pain medication I'll even be able to take. And that's scary. So anyway, I am grateful that, the bulk of the of the work is done with all the things. There might be like um there may be a revision needed in the future, but we'll see about that. And it would be a much smaller procedure, like way less invasive, way less, stuff. Just less time in the OR, like just less overall. So we'll see.
Less of all the
Um,
things.
Cappy is saying things. So it's starting to seem like Chad is wanting to talk about like taking care of ourselves financially,
Okay.
which was not a vector that I had in here yet, but I can totally add that in. Cappy says one thing that she thinks will be really important is getting value out of secondhand things, especially old computers. A lot of them are still very useful, even though Microsoft or Apple does not seem to think so.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make it, it's
Yeah.
not beneficial to them. So they try and do everything they can to make it no longer beneficial
So
to
I also
you.
think, like, if possible, this could be a good time to practice some budgeting and saving, like if possible.
I feel like I was doing pretty
It's not always
good,
possible,
pretty good
right?
with that
Not
for a
plenty of
while.
people are, um, you know, I don't know, hand to mouth or paycheck to paycheck.
Mm.
But setting aside a rainy day fund in case a person needs to relocate, I'll say vaguely, um, that is a good thing to have socked away for a rainy day. Yeah, I hear you, Cappy, about the planned obsolescence.
I like the counterpoint that
Um,
Dresden Media put in
oh,
chat that
Emily.
older computers run console emulators better than newer ones, which Cappy agreed with.
It was just my headphones disconnecting from my computer, though.
Oh, your headphones disconnected from your computer?
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll just get it to repair.
Mm. That'd be an idea. That'd be a better one. I do have good earbuds now. I had a whole a whole thing that happened. Basically, to cut out all of the long story, I ended up without a phone at the very end of without a working phone at the very end of my Seattle trip, and so I've had to make a lot of adjustments to a new phone, and the expense of all of that, and luckily I was able to get some secondhand earbuds and some things. So that's a really good idea. Get them connected to this computer, so then I can talk with one of those in my ear instead of having to have the speakers live.
Yeah. So there's one more realm of taking care of ourselves that at least that I can tell that we haven't discussed yet, and that's taking care of ourselves spiritually.
Okay.
Um, to me, that's actually one of the most important pieces. It's the main difference between me having some groundedness and a bunch of my friends really feeling distressed. And there's a lot of ways to do that. I think that meditation can be really valuable. I think that making gratitude lists can also be really valuable. Um, Practices around detachment can be super helpful. And then finding like a spiritual community, whatever that is, if that's like going to um, Unitarian Universalist gatherings or interfaith gatherings or any specific religion of the book, or going to group meditation things or going to a 12-step meeting. Like there's so many different things that you can go do, um, or support groups. Like there's all kinds of stuff that's out there. Um, Therapy, those are kind of circling back towards emotional,
Mm,
um, but there's so many different ways to form like spiritual community that I think can really build that resilience, because I know for me at least, like the communities that I run around in, like having having those touch points with people week after week or month after month is really grounding,
mm.
um,
Th- that's a
because
uh,
it
that's a really important
go
point.
ahead.
Not only having community, but having the consistency. A community that meets regularly, that's something that you can count on. Because another thing that's sort of a subtle point of that is having something to look forward to. Making sure you
Mhm.
have a conscious view of the future, because we can get into these points of despair and not see our place in the future, not see what's going to happen to us in the future. And if we can focus on those little things to look forward to, those regular, those again, that's sort of another thing we talked about earlier is routine. Um, the thing that routine helps with is giving us that thing to look forward to, the thing to count on, and that regularity in community, in spirituality, can really kind of change things and it becomes a constant, even though it's not constantly there. It's just regular enough that you feel that it's part of your life because it's always something you know that you're going back to. I was very disappointed when you started the chat. Oh, did I mute you by the way? I hope I
No,
didn't.
I'm here.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
here.
Um, I was very disappointed when we started down this path of spirituality because one of the things we're doing for TDOR is we're actually partnering with a Unitarian Universalist fellowship to have a satellite location where folks can show up for people that are on the far end of the county and can't make the drive to the live location, and was talking to them about what they do and how they structure their I don't I would hesitate greatly to say the word sermons, but in their gatherings, they talk about love and showing up for each other and values and morals and those sorts of things and how you can, you know, integrate them into your life. And it's faith independent. So they have people of all different kinds of faith and faith backgrounds there. And I was you started talking about the different types of spirituality we have. I'm like, Unitarian Universalist fellowships, these are great. And that was the first thing that you listed. I'm like, I finally knew something, and
Oh, Emily, I have 2 degrees in religion.
okay,
That's
so
my that was my special interest the first half of my 20s was religion. I just studied all of them. So
nice. Well,
it was impressive that my list was as concise as it was, to be honest, like regarding spirituality. But I don't know, like there's so many different pieces of like, you know, I mean, getting back to that consistency, like developing a consistent connection to like whatever your spiritual practices are, because the whole point of spirituality is to make meaning out of life.
mm,
And so if we can make meaning out of life, it helps with the panic, right? It helps with the anxiety and the fear because it's like, no, like we're going to get through this, like reminding ourselves, maybe even using like affirmations or mantras, um, affirmations, mantras, gatas. It depends on, which flavor of that thing you're doing, but like or slogans is another phrase for some of that stuff. Just phrases that you repeat that are positive and meaningful. So it could be as simple as, I have survived every hard day I've ever had, which is just a statement of fact. Like every hard day I've ever had, I have survived it. I've gotten through it. And, whether it was through my own power or through the power of community, a lot of people can say that they struggle with like spirituality because it's like, oh, I don't believe in like God, or as a trans or queer community, like we have all kinds of troubling pasts with religions of the book in particular. But I do think that it's possible to have a connection with powers greater than ourselves, even if it's a humanist perspective that's like looking at like the community is more powerful than I am. A group of people is more powerful than one. And so as a united community that's showing up for each other consistently, we can get through anything. So anyway, blah blah blah. I could sermonize about spirituality forever. I truly could. But Capybara is saying we should address security, especially in online communities.
yeah.
Um, Cappy, is there more you want to say about security, just like in general? Like, do you mean online security? Do you mean like not getting doxxed?
Well, one of the things that I can
Tell us
contribute to
more.
this is I had a sponsor early. I don't remember if it was in 20. I think it was early 2024. So early this year, or possibly late last year, a sponsorship of Delete Me, and they're one of those services that goes through. I believe it's about $100 a year, and they go through and regularly delete your name and your information from services. And the thing is about your information on the internet is that's constantly being shared around and being rebought and resold. So it is something that needs to happen regularly, and these services have a lot of inroads to make the process a lot faster. You can do all this on your own, for free, but it's a lot of contacting a lot of just a lot of different services and different places. And a service like Delete Me is a really great way to have someone else manage all of that for you so that you feel comfortable. And then every month you get a report of the different places that they found your data, where they deleted it, and can flag anything that is of concern. And so it's a really nice peace of mind. And just to plug it, if you use the code the Transverse, you get I believe it was a 10% discount. So, and that is in perpetuity.
Is it the transverse capital T, capital T?
I don't believe
One
it
word.
matters. But
Okay,
if one doesn't work, try the other.
cool.
And actually, I'm still getting reports from them. Because yeah, it is for a full year that you sign on for, and so it's just the gift that keeps giving. Every month you get a new report, and it's just like, ooh, what did they find now? Like how many was it? You could just kind of track the numbers and all that, and it's pretty fascinating, but also a great way to feel safe and to be safer. And I do really appreciate that.
So Capybara is saying assessing one's involvement in social media accounts, posts made, media shared, especially with Twitter now essentially as state media, that information could be used against us.
Mhm.
The idea of surveillance capitalism, where we are the product, um, as an alternative, finding ways to share your life with those you love in a more direct way. So something I've been doing a lot more lately is I've just been texting my friends or using Signal, um, as a way to connect, and I'll like send a picture. I'll be like, "Hey, I did this today, and I was thinking of you, and here's a picture that made me think of you." And so everyone isn't getting access to all of my things, but also like I'm having a lot more control and mindfulness over what is being shared. So like while we have social media platforms for like GenderMeowster, the community, like the group of us that runs this channel and this community, the Clouder, I master themselves the person, like I'm not posting a ton of pictures of me or of my community members or what I'm up to online anymore. Like I might text a picture to a friend, but that's about it these days. So I do appreciate that perspective that Capybara is sharing in the chat.
Mhm. I was terrible about it. I put my name on so many things for the Transverse in the early days. I don't know what I was thinking. I clearly was not. Um, but yes, do not use your real name anywhere that you don't absolutely have to. Facebook doesn't care if you change your name. Most places you can. So it's a good idea um, to limit anything online that has your legal name.
Yeah,
And it's just
it's
funny because
true.
I feel like everybody else in the world is so much better about it than I was.
Well, it's also a generational thing, and like you maybe weren't raised being cautioned about online chat rooms and all of that stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, and the other thing is it was all through representing the transverse and to represent and be an ally or be a champion for the community in the way that we wanted to. I thought that the way to approach that was with the most authenticity as possible. So using
mm-hmm.
your real name and putting it out there, just to prove to people that you're really showing up, you're really here. This isn't some kind of sham or anything like that. And yeah, I got to the stage name idea way too late.
It's okay. And that happens with time.
Fun tangent there. I started going by a changed the last name about 6 months ago, and the problem is I really like my fake last name. It's like I'm considering changing it to that, and then everything goes out the window again.
Fun. I love that. Um, well, in the spirit of taking care of ourselves, I know that we had one or two more whole categories of things, taking care of our communities and resisting oppression together. But my body is telling me that I need to be done sitting at this desk. So I would be happy to raid into you, Emily, and let you continue this conversation if you would like to, if you feel courageous enough to do that solo, or we could call it a night and maybe have another stream another time and pick up this conversation later.
I really appreciate you and I
What do you think?
appreciate the opportunity. That is something I definitely do not have the spoons for today, with my
Fair.
lack of sleep last night. Um,
Totally.
yeah, that's just something I can't do. And I don't know how much y'all know me, but that hurts. I hate not being able to show up for the community in as many ways and as much as possible. But again, going back to the importance of taking care of yourself, one of the big parts of that is being self-aware and not pushing yourself past the limits. And when you have a realization like that, like it's going to be a struggle for me to do something like that, take that time. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with other people that are asking for things and say, I will in the future, but right now that's something I can't do. And people will appreciate that and you'll be able to show up later when you have the energy, when you have the spoons, and when it's not a detriment to you.
Yeah, totally.
So, this was a quick one. But thank you so much for suggesting this and putting this to getting us together, Meowster. I love that as you heal and as we learn more, as we think about this more, and as we have more time, we will be able to revisit this and keep talking with the community and coming up with the ways that we can bolster ourselves, bolster our community, and then you know start to approach what do we do to push back on this? Where, what does resilience, what does a strong community standing together look like going forward?
Yeah, totally. Well, this has been lovely. Emily, I put a raid target suggestion in our DMs if you want to review that idea. Um, but yeah, I don't know what future streams to alert you all to besides, I suppose next Wednesday is going to be Trans Day of Remembrance. So we'll be having a gathering then. Emily, do you have any streams coming up you're aware of that you want to mention to people, or events or activities
I do.
to tell people about?
I don't know that I'm going to go on Twitch. I guess I haven't decided yet. We still have some tech to figure out. And the fact that we've got less than a week makes me a little nervous. But we are doing a live event here. We will have 3 hours worth of content with some wonderful speakers. We're going to read off the list of names for the folks that we've lost here in the United States. And hopefully we'll have some good representation from our local county and city where we're hosting the event. So it should be a really wonderful and powerful event. We're starting it at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sorry, I don't remember GMT off the top of my head, but it will be, like I said, a 3-hour stream
Like
starting at
1 in the
5 p.m.
morning or
Pacific.
something?
And we will have it. I'm not sure if it'll be on the Transverse Twitch channel. It will definitely be on the Transverse YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Transverse. And if things that have to change, yeah, I'll try and make sure that I let everybody know on the Instagram account, the Transverse Network on Instagram.
Awesome.
Need to start promoting that
Yeah,
because
so you've got a morning T-Door stream on my channel at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and then you've got an evening T-Door stream on Emily's channels, YouTube, and maybe also other places. Hooray. Ooh, wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone who showed up tonight. It is so lovely to see all of you. It's always intimidating to go live for the first time in a long time and be like, is anyone even going to come? Um, so it was really lovely to be here. I would like to suggest that we raid over to my friend Chai Latte, who has co-working and studying stream running. I have a feeling that C has this running even if C isn't sitting at the desk doing the things, because um, C is trying to raise funds for emergency home repairs and bills.
oh, okay.
C is also the next mutual aid recipient.
Mm,
or Gender Federation, and so help rating in, even if folks can just leave lurks, to help get that ad revenue going for C. C's been live for almost 9 hours and has a cat cam, and Cheddar the cat is on the cat cam right now, which is super cute. So we can go say hi to Cheddar the cat and
wonderful.
drop some follows and some lurks. That's my suggestion. Does that work for you, Emily?
That works for me. Rather than worrying about getting it right, Capybara, could you handle the raid in the Transverse chat
I can.
or
Gotcha.
Meowster? Oh, there we go. Perfect.
So, and if folks would like a raid message, I have two. The first one will work great if you have a subscription to my channel. The second one works for everyone. It's just a clatter of meowsters appears and there's little heart hands, which is super cute. So I think I actually wrote a raid message for the Transverse back in the day when I streamed to your channel. Ta-da! There you go. The Transverse is here to expand your gender galaxy. That's your raid message. Did you know you had a raid message, Emily?
I didn't. I didn't know how to do that. I love it. Thank you. That's perfect. Yeah,
You're welcome.
the gender galaxy. I love all of the space puns with the transverse. So yes, thank you.
It's so fun. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Please do give C a follow if you haven't, and drop those lurky lurks. Leave it running on your computer so that C's channel gets that ad revenue. Remember to mute the tab, not the player itself, if you can help it if you're on computer, because that is how the ad revenue counts as a view instead of an inactive view. And yeah, everyone's getting ready for Trans Day of Remembrance. If anyone wants to be a reader for my channel, let me know. See everybody later.
Bye, y'all. Did we go? Did we get rated? I haven't
I
seen.
just went offline. Yeah, my raid went.
I haven't seen
Signatures.
this shift over in the transverse is rating the party one. What? Where did all my viewers go? They didn't go over. Everybody left. All right, hun. Um, Thank you so much again. I really appreciate cutting this short. God, it was so short, but yeah, I don't have the wherewithal today. It's just not in me.
Okay. I'm a tired little guy.
Oh,
My
let
body is
me
tired.
put these on so I can
And
hear
if I
you
go now,
well
I can catch the last 26 minutes of my
without
recovery meeting.
causing
So that's
echoes.
cool.
There we go.
We did it though. We went live.
We did live. We did go live. We went live together. Minus a little choppiness at the beginning, apparently. And the transverse stream just cutting at some point. Uh, uh, it was a nice looking stream and it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Uh,
like it.
Always great to get a chance to talk to you. And I, like I said, I love the idea of this being a thing. If we can practice what we preach and sort of make this something that we look forward to and provide for folks, I think that could be a really great a really great thing. So as you
Yeah,
heal
I
up,
mean,
we'll be able to do
to me,
longer and
this felt like a special episode of doing the work.
mm,
Which is one of my shows. I don't know. Anyway,
I love you.
I love you too.
And
I
I
hope you take really good care of yourself tonight. And we'll talk again when we do.
okay. I'm gonna go get a lot of sleep tonight.
Yay, good. Sleep is good. You deserve a lot of sleep.
Yes, we all do. Good night. I want to give Cappy my love too. Oh my god, I'm so fucking tired.